You're watching ChillyBoy Productions. I'm Larry, ChillyBoy Chilson, and this is another Game of Thrones reaction video. And as always, on these Game of Thrones reactions, I'm joined by my co-host Tyler. Hey, Tyler.
Hello, it's great to be back talking some Game of Thrones. It hasn't been too long, and we know we're back on a more semi-consistent schedule nowadays compared to that month off that we took last time. So
Yeah.
we're on the right track. Let's keep it going.
Well, I'm rocking the shirt after
Oh
last
yeah,
week's episode with the iconic quote, Tyler's
now that
revelation to it.
yeah now that I know where exactly what episode it came from. Like I've of course heard the quote and seen your shirt before, but I didn't
Yeah.
ever understand the context in the show.
Well, last episode, we finally saw Bran again for the first time in well over a season. Bran, the three-eyed raven, take a little trip back in time to when his dad was young and growing up in Winterfell. And we get a little bit of backstory about Hodor that opens up a lot of questions about him and his entire journey, really, in life that led him to
Right.
this point. While Mira obviously is just like over life right now, pretty distraught over having to kill her own brother and just kind of sitting outside sulking. So Sir Alistair ready to break in that door and come for Sir Davos and take them all in when just in the nick of time 1-1 busts that damn gate in
The
and the
MVP.
wildlings with Ed and Tormund at the lead storm in and pretty much take over in there. They saw that they saw that giant mollywop that man right real quick and said, "All right, we surrender. We're
I
good."
would have done the same. It's fair. It's totally understandable.
So now Sir Alistair and Ollie, as well as the other like mutiny people, are all in prison. So that's good.
I agree. But yeah, as they deserve to be.
Yes. Then we see Tommen with Jamie in the Great Sept after Cersei is denied, and the High Sparrow joins them and basically kind of just lays down the gauntlet with Jamie. Like, okay, you might be a great knight, but don't worry. We're gonna take down you rich and powerful folks, us little peasants of the land.
Mm-mm.
But then Tommen is talked a little bit of sense by his dad uncle, and goes his funkle, his father uncle, and goes to talk to his mom. At first, she's quite cold. Obviously, I mean, he literally hasn't come to see her. He didn't save her. He's done nothing to help her since her
Yeah, pretty
situation.
much.
He's still his queen is still locked up. He's done nothing to help her either. Um, but he's like, look, I'm sorry. I was just scared, and I want you to advise me moving forward. This is all after we saw Cersei's mountain zombie hit on out and kill one of the people who acted a fool with her in that walk. So,
Smashed that guy's face into the wall and
yeah,
walked away.
we'll see what kind of guidance Cersei gives to Tom.
I'm a little nervous.
Then we head over to Meereen, where Missandei, Grey Worm, Varys, and Tyrion have formed a little council of sorts in Daenerys' absence to look over Meereen. Yeah, obviously Missandei and Grey Worm are not the most talkative of characters. So Tyrion is, she's trying to drum up conversation, and they're just kind of like, oh, okay, like
He
sure.
did his best.
He gives his I drink and I know things as his qualifications.
Very
And then
valid.
he decides, he's like, you know what? She's the queen, she's the mother of dragons, and we have those dragons locked up. So he decides to go and free them, uh, which turned out pretty well for him. The first dragon is a little scary, but once he's freed, the other one is like, okay, how about me? Come on.
I'm just glad he lived
But then we saw Arya getting that ass beat one more time by Waif in the streets.
every
But
time, man.
before she got accepted back by Jaqen, it's like, all right, come on back. We'll take you off the homeless roster of the streets of Bravos. Come back.
She was readopted.
Lord. Then we go up north we see Ramsey murder his father when he learns that the baby Walda was having was a boy, and Roos was not very approving of how Ramsey was conducting himself. So, hi, Roos. Can't say we'll actually miss you, but it does leave us in a place where Ramsey is just like unchecked, unhinged, and unchecked in Winterfell.
Even more than he already was, basically.
And then, of course, he proceeds to get the job done and heads out and feeds Walda and the baby to his dogs.
Yeah, on R.I.P. unnamed child and Walda.
Meanwhile, Theon, Brienne, Sansa, and Podrick are like camped out. Yay! Sansa finally accepts Brienne into her life, so we're good there. But we learn that they decide it's time to go on up to Castle Black because the word of Jon Snow's death apparently has gotten around nowhere. So they think he's still alive at this point, and they're headed up there for safety. And Theon's like, well, that's your journey. I'm actually going to go back to the Iron Islands, my home.
Which
So,
is seems like a very questionable idea based on his previous experiences. But we'll see. I
yeah,
mean,
we'll see, especially now because it got plundered into even more madness as Yara is basically like, Dad, your plan is a hot mess. Like, I'm just telling you now, trying to retake the North, who gives an F? Like, stop. And he's like, basically tells her, I'm the king, shut up. And heads on out to that rickety ass little bridge that they have out there on the Iron Islands where he
he
meets
looked
his
like he looked like he was about to get blown off the bridge anyways,
this
but
old ass, like rundown man on this rickety ass 2 cent bridge. I don't know what's going on, but he meets his brother, who right off the bat seems quite unhinged, and is like, "Yo, yeah, I cut the tongues out of my damn crew members. I don't need them talking. That's why my ship's called the Silence. How about that?" Um,
bit extreme. But
yeah. And Balon's like, well, I'm still the king. And he's basically like, not now. And tosses good old Balon Greyjoy over the edge. So Theon is
yeah,
coming back to no more father, which, I mean, was he really a father to begin with?
not a good one at least.
I mean, Theon did admit his real dad died in King's Landing in season 1 when he finally came to his senses after the madness he pulled. So,
It'll be intriguing to see the follow-ups with this new Greyjoy in town, whatever his name is. I know the actor. I remember he was the bad guy in Overlord.
he was. And then finally, we see Melisandre just pretty much broken. She's a broken woman at this point. Everything she thought she knew, everything she believed in has turned out to be wrong. So she is shaken. She doesn't even know if she believes in the Lord of the Light any longer because, well, it was all wrong. And Davos is like, look, girl, that's all great, but I have seen you birth a shadow baby. I have seen this black, dark magic that you pull. There is something here. And right now, we need you to revive Jon Snow.
And they don't even know that she's like secretly like a bajillion years old.
No, yeah, girl, your magic literally keeps you looking like this instead of an old woman. Like, hello, you've got magic in there.
Something at least.
She goes, she's like, fine. There's only one other person I know that has done this kind of ish, and he doesn't even know how to do it. Like the Lord of the Light just channels. She cleans him up. We got Davos in there willing it to be true. And they all think Jon is permanently gone and leaves the room. And then, oop, Ghost feels the like spirit tingle in the room. And my dog is apparently feeling the spirit tingle right now.
They know Jon Snow's back.
But Jon Snow arises. He gets his breath back into his multiple stab wounded body.
Yeah, I imagine that's probably not very comfortable to wake up to.
How does that work? Do you have like phantom pain? Do the wounds, do they still hurt? I don't know. I mean,
I haven't been stabbed like 1,000 times, but I imagine it's probably pretty painful no matter how long it's.
I also don't have that body. I don't have those abs to maybe like absorb it. You saw all them abs on him. Maybe those help the healing process. I don't know.
Maybe it's part of the magic. It heals the wounds too.
Maybe him freezing outside was actually a good thing. Kind of,
It preserved him
to
well.
preserve the body.
Yeah, I mean, he was laying there dead for a couple episodes.
You know, maybe if he hadn't have been left out there by them assholes, he would have been able to been brought back. He would have started decaying. So it's, you know what, Alistair? Little did you know, you just helped Jon Snow out by being an asshole. Okay. So that was episode 2. Now we are on to episode 3, Oathbreaker. So we've had an Oath Keeper before. Now we have Oathbreaker as an episode title.
I'm guessing he's looking at Jon Snow because he looks very confused. Oh, there you go. I love how he robes like the Undertaker.
Okay, Jon.
Oh yeah, you got your booty shot. A little bit anyway.
Jon is like, what the hell?
Wild, crazy night.
Ooh,
You did it. You did it, Melisandre.
They stopped me.
Just a few times.
There was nothing at all.
Well, that's pretty bleak.
Stennis was not the prince who was promised, but someone has to be.
Oh God, run away, Jon. You got that crazy look in her eyes. I'm sure this is going to be interesting for everyone when he walks out alive again. Suited up. He's like, I'm back from the dead, bitches.
Look at him.
You thought you'd seen the last of me? Surprise, bitch.
Yes.
I saw your pecker. What kind of god would have a pecker that small?
It's the snow. It's the cold weather.
Yeah. You know what, Jon, drop trow and let's evaluate the claim.
Yay. His one other friend that's alive still.
Still brown. Is that still you in there?
It was like, bitch, I was ready. If I saw blue eyes, it was over, Jon.
Let me double check real quick. And meanwhile, they've been on this ship this whole time. Like, they missed all the fun.
He didn't even know Jon died and rose back from the dead. None of it.
That's what I mean. You know how mad I'd be if I was on this ship the whole time and like I missed all that craziness.
He's over here seasick.
Elmo's regretting this whole trip. I think. You know. Ooh.
Oh.
Ugh.
The Citadel doesn't admit women. There won't be a place for you there. Half a little, Sam.
Oh, well, that's not good.
There's no women allowed there.
Gilly said, I'm coming in. I don't know what they're talking about.
Stay in Old Town then.
She'll find a way.
Yourself
Taking me.
to my home. Hornhill. My father.
Surprise.
Wherever you go, I go too. That's what
I
you
was-
said.
I thought we were gonna have like a fun meeting with like the in-laws.
I wonder why Gilly's so good. I know she's never been at sea as a wildling.
I want you and little Sam
Right.
to be safe.
I'd never do that to the father of my son.
Aw. Oh. Well, based on Bran's standing, I'm assuming this is some sort of flashback, dream sort of thing.
Beside him is Howland Reed, Mira's father,
Sir Arthur Dayne.
the sword of the morning.
All right, that's his Sir Arthur Dayne. It's a very cool name.
Yes.
Seems fitting for someone with cool armor and swords.
I wish you good fortune in the wars to come.
Oh,
And now it begins.
Things are about to get nasty. Oh man, he's two swords. I mean, I'm all for this. Let's see this man fight with both swords. Oh, that didn't go well for that guy. That guy got like immediately killed. Oh. Well, I imagine he'll be fine, but everyone else, not so sure. Ooh. All right, this dual sword thing is pretty badass.
got his reputation for a reason. Oh!
Oh man. Hell yeah! Woo!
Ooh, and they gave us a nice long cut on that.
Man, this dude's awesome.
Oh!
Oh. This man is winning a 4v1. Damn. Oh.
Oh!
Ooh. Hmm. Even further in.
Oh, shit. What you gonna do, Ned?
I mean, he just won a 4v1, basically. Well, it's 1v1 now, but
You know what? I think he was right. If he had been there with Robert Baratheon, maybe Robert would have died too on the Trident.
yeah.
Oh.
Now this is a battle.
He's better than my father.
Far better.
I can't disagree.
My father beat him. Heard the story 1,000 times.
Oh, I guess maybe he was lying. Ooh. You lost. Oh, come on. That's lame. That's cheap as hell.
In the back.
Little
Ooh.
dirty beast back there.
What's your power?
I mean, I knew he was gonna live, of course, but
Meet again another time.
I want to see.
man, they really just gave us like awesome that awesome badass fight scene, and he gets cheap shotted and gets killed.
Why did you do that?
I needed more of that guy. That guy was cool.
We need his
Look-
origin story. That's the
look-
prequel we want.
He heard me.
Freaking goofy Max von Sydow sitting in the
He heard
bunch of roots.
The past is already written.
Ordinaires. That dress is looking mighty raggedy at this point.
Whew.
Damn.
Uh-oh. Taking her to her retirement home.
Doesn't look great. Oh, there's people.
She had business.
She was busy. Oh, come on, we're gonna throw in this. Try and get her at not stay here. Well, I'm not a big fan of this lady. She seems very jealous. Look at Varys just fanning himself.
We found
What?
her.
Could have the room.
We
Oh
got
yeah.
her.
I thought
Prostitute
you
has
were.
been captured.
You're going to torture me. Just
I need that
say,
fan.
get on with it.
I am not a torturer.
Well,
So theatrical.
you kind of tortured that guy that, chopped your stuff off, but
Mm-mm.
girl,
Look
are
at
you
Varys.
stupid? It could have been your little boy posted up on one of them crosses. You're not a highborn.
Yeah, look at Varys playing the game.
From your perspective, this is a problem.
This is like,
That ain't mine though.
yeah, good luck.
The ship leaving tomorrow. New life for you and Dom. Or
Time to leave. Poor Tyrion.
You speak 19 languages. You must occasionally use some of them to talk about things.
we captured on patrol.
That's good.
A very simple man.
Oh.
Tyrion's trying his best to have some sort of conversation with these folks.
There, that's a start.
Only the girl.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's like, Tyrion, I don't think she wants to play games her master made her play. Come on now.
Innocent games.
Yeah, it's a bit awkward, yeah.
Oh, you took your time.
Well,
First, that's like, bless.
yeah, that conversation's finally over. Poor Tyrion.
If we want them to hear us, we must speak it back to them. May it be the last thing they ever hear.
You may be right.
So we will fight them.
Your eye looks much better, Arthur. How's your mother's jaw?
Oh, God. Now, what are we doing down here? Is the real question.
He was nice.
told us his little bird.
The little bird's missing Varys.
I would not take candy from that man. Now, why would you bring this monster?
They're like, what the hell? Varys
be the
never
same
did
way.
no ish like this.
To the extent that he ever understood complete sentences in the first
Oh,
place.
like I understood
Sounds like
that.
Yeah. I said, you better watch out, Jamie.
To march into the scepter.
The Gregor can't face them all, and he won't have to. He'll only have to face one.
Oh,
If someone is laughing at the queen who walked naked through the streets covered
Uh-oh.
in shit, I want to hear.
I'm very angry about that. I see.
She's about to kill everybody up in the city. Girl, they were all laughing at you. Everyone in the streets was laughing.
I don't think anyone was out there that wasn't like
I told them
captured.
all. I told them. And what he's done to Gregor Clegane is an abomination.
Okay, Pycelle, type down.
We never
We
said
want to
I mean,
hear from
I-
Elena.
experiment.
I mean, I agree with what he's saying, but still. Oh, now it's gonna be real awkward.
What were you saying, Pycelle? He's right here.
Marjorie is the queen. You are not the queen because you're not married to the king. I do appreciate these things can get a bit confusing in your family.
Ooh.
Mm-mm-mm.
It's a small council meeting. You have no position on the small council.
The Mad King's Council, of course, that was the Mad King. King Robert saw things.
Well, then just grab this seat right here.
We've got a lot to discuss. All of us together.
Say you, Kevin.
Seeing as you cannot make us leave, we best get on with it.
I just think it's so funny. His name's Kevin.
No, we cannot.
Like everybody else has such cool names, and his name's Kevin.
You cannot make us stay.
That's how I'd react to him too.
Maybe time to cut the act and start running, Pycelle.
Yeah.
Ain't no
You might
need for
have
this
to.
slow walking right now. Oh,
Well, he's finally about
she
to
gonna
do something.
timing. Come on.
And he's got some guards with him and everything.
She must stand trial before 7 Septons, so we can learn the true extent of her sins.
Seriously.
You to let her see Marcella's resting place. My mother who still needs to atone after all you've put her through.
Look at Tommen standing up for himself. We love to see it. It took so long.
No, Tommen, don't send them away.
Now, what was that?
Yes.
It's a great gift. One I never had.
Why he's here to tell you to. That's enough.
It's what the gods want.
Come
They
on.
make it known to us, and it's up to us to either accept or reject it.
We
High
started so
Sparrow.
we
High
started
Sparrow
so
weaving that
strong.
web, Tommen, and you've been caught right up in it.
And good.
That's what I mean. We started so strong.
All
I mean, he has a way with words. What can I say?
There's so much good in all of us.
Think your grandfather would have let all this mess happen, Tommen?
Yeah, I think the High Sparrow would have been dead a very long time ago.
Uh-oh.
She's back. She's still blind though. He's still tormenting this poor Arya.
At least these are like sanctioned beatings, I guess. She's not just jumping her in the street.
Yeah, they're just now she's just getting beat up in secret again. How long am I gonna have to see Arya just get abused in this show?
And where are they now?
They may be dead for all the girl knows.
Yeah, she ain't gonna know.
Arya working up all her other senses without the sight now.
Yeah, I guess she's
Arya
Daredevil
wanted
now.
him to die. He was on her list.
Hmm.
He was not on her list anymore.
Oh.
She had taken him off it.
That can't be everyone you want to kill.
The ones are dead. So,
You about to be on that
Sure
list?
you're not forgetting someone.
well,
Which name would you like a girl to speak?
mine. Oh, there we go, Arya.
Yay! Finally,
Yes.
the Daredevil powers have kicked in.
Ooh, she is shit.
All right.
I know she mad as hell that Jaqen was standing back there too.
If a girl is truly no one,
Yeah.
What do you got to lose, I guess?
I don't know if I trust drinking that Ari.
Yeah, that water's not too great in the past.
Well, she didn't. She's back!
She can see. Woo!
No one.
Yay. Oh, God.
I might have done the same to my father if he hadn't have done me the favor of dying on his own.
Oh?
My father was
Mm.
poisoned by our enemies.
Yeah.
Oh.
See, this man, ain't nobody believing your mess, Ramsay.
Enemies, huh?
The bastard Jon Snow led an army of wildlings past the wall. Aye,
This should be interesting.
a wild one.
Oh. Where the hell has Osha been for this whole time?
And the boy. Nice and young.
Well, does that mean that the other one's Rickon? Yep.
Oh yeah, they did go to the Umbers, and here we go. The Umbers betrayed him.
He's much older now.
No.
What was his direwolf's name again?
Shaggy Dog.
I was gonna say, I was like, oh no, the dog. Whichever one.
Whew, you haven't seen that since season 3. Well, I didn't want this to be how we were reintroduced to Osha and Rickon.
Yeah, no, we're running out of wolves. Uh-oh.
Oh, well.
Looks like somebody's about to get some payback. Little Ollie up there.
If you have any last words, now is the time.
He shouldn't be alive. It's not right.
Well, he is, so
Neither was killing me.
deal with it.
He said, don't play with me.
An army of murderers and raiders.
That's what y'all are.
I was gonna say, like, what?
I pray I'd make the right choice again.
Well,
I'm sure you would, Sir Alistair.
You'll be fighting their battles forever.
You
All right,
almost
well,
had a respectable, like, going out, and then you had to continue as usual.
time to die. We will not miss him. And the worst
You
of them
are-
all. All right, let's wrap this up. Nothing to say, eh? All right, bye-bye. Ooh, well, R.I.P. Ooh, well, seems like a fitting death.
You should.
No.
I've got so black.
No. He's just peacing out.
My watch is ended.
Oop.
Well, I mean, I guess technically it did, but had to make sure he killed those folks first.
His last act as Lord Commander.
Yeah, had to make sure those people died, and then
He
I'm
said,
out.
I'm gonna kill y'all, and then I'm gonna peace out and forget about this job title.
And he's just gonna walk somewhere. I guess he's not gonna take a horse or.
Where are you going, John?
I am intrigued to where he's gonna go. I guess that we'll just talk about that.
All right. Well, looks like John was the Oathbreaker for the episode. But was he really? Was he really an Oathbreaker?
I guess he died and then came back, so I guess that's kind of like a loophole, right?
Yeah, I'm sure they don't have a contingency plan for that in their rule book. So
In case someone comes
technicality.
back, let's say someone comes back from the dead.
All right, so this episode, we see more of Bran having these visions of the past with the three-eyed raven. He's kind of showing him how to go back and see all these events. Keep showing him his father's upbringing and childhood. This time it was after Robert's rebellion had succeeded. They overthrew the Mad King. Rhaegar Targaryen had died. And we see Sir Arthur Dayne in his Targaryen armor still defending these like twin castles, and Ned wants to go into those castles. So him and his little group, they buck up. All of them come at Dane and his homie. Arthur Dane mows these MFers down with them.
Yeah.
That dual sword fighting style is too much, even for Ned Stark. Could not keep up. And then he gets cheap shotted from the back in the throat. And that's how Ned defeated Sir Arthur Dane.
Some BS.
But the three-eyed raven doesn't let Bran see what happens once Ned runs up and goes toward those castles. Instead, he brings him back, basically tells him, if you linger too long in the past, you will never be able to come back. Which Bran is like, why do I want to come back to this? But he's like, no, I have much to teach you. You have to learn everything there is to know and basically take over because this is your destiny. So how did you feel about Bran's stuff this episode?
I was more interested in Sir Arthur Dane, to be honest, than anything to do with Bran, I guess, technically. Yeah, I mean, Sir Arthur Dane, that guy's badass. I mean, that whole fight was amazing. Yeah, he was dual wielding swords, and like I said, it was like 4v1 at one point, and he basically won.
It was just shot really well. It was choreographed really well. It's probably the best like hand-to-hand fight scene we've had, and that's a flashback.
So far, yeah. Yeah, it was just like a random flashback with, I guess not old, young Ned Stark, and the actor that actor they got to play young Ned Stark is kind of iffy, but it's kind of a minor gripe that he doesn't really look too much like Sean Bean or anything. They didn't try all that hard. The stuff with Bran, even back before, it wasn't like my favorite stuff. Sounds like he's going to be doing this for a while if he has to learn absolutely everything. But it'll be intriguing to see where we continue to go with that storyline with him, as he's kind of like adjacent to a lot of the other stuff going on in the show.
Then we head over the sea to see Daenerys, and she has arrived at Vice Dothrak, where she is meant to retire, though we hear from this speech that they have to come to a council meeting to decide, since she decided she was going to go off into the world, and that's forbidden. So maybe they won't even allow her to retire here at Vice Dothrak.
That's just that's just rude, frankly. They made a whole thing about her having to come with them to do this, and then she comes with them, and she might not even be allowed in.
So Daenerys obviously is like, I want to be here. Y'all are making me mad. She's like just sitting there like, oh my god.
So you're not gonna let me in? I didn't want to be here anyway.
This is like, where's Drogon when I need him? No.
Honestly, that's like the only way to get out, it seems, at this point.
But we didn't get much with her. But how did you feel about Daenerys this episode?
I just feel bad for her at this point, just being pulled into more craziness from afar. I'm just hoping Jorah and them come in and swoop in and save the day. Yeah, I feel bad for her. I think it's kind of messed up that they're a little bit jealous of her, it seems, and they're going to have her put on trial, basically, to decide if she can get in or not. I don't really know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because, she doesn't want to be there anyway. But, I don't know. So I hope she gets out of it, because we gotta get back to more important things further away. She's got like a whole place to lead.
It's in shambles right now.
The people there are trying. Varys and Tyrion and Missandei, Grey Worm.
Well, speaking of them, Varys catches the lethal prostitute who's been wreaking havoc. It's basically like, look, we know your son. I'm not saying I'm going to kill his little ass, but, we know who he is. So you can either help us, and I'm going to give you this silver, and we'll send you on to Pentos, or we'll see what happens with you here and take the chances. Apparently, she took him up on his offer because Varys comes in with the info. He knows who is funding the Sons of the Harpy. It's all the jaded people that Daenerys overthrew in the past cities. They rebanded. There's funding these harpies, and then the people over in Volantis, who we already know are trash. But this interrupts Tyrion's desperate attempts to talk and communicate with Missandei and Grey Worm.
Anything
at all. But we learned Grey Worm and Missandei, they have a little bit different experience with these masters. Grey Worm has no parts, much like Varys, because of these masters, was abused his whole life, as was Missandei, as we heard real quick. They're basically like, no, y'all can talk to them all you want, but they only understand violence in reality. These masters only know one language, and if you don't respond with that language, they will never stop. But Tyrion's like, let's have them come on over. Actually, let's have a sit down. So,
they have dragons. So.
How'd you feel about the whole thing in Marine?
I mean, it was entertaining to try and get them to speak at all. You know, Tyrion tried his best to make that happen, but I think Varys did a great job here. I mean, Varys, did his usual wheeling and dealing. I thought it was a very strong episode for him, just kind of like flexing his muscle as far as his knowledge and getting her getting that lethal prostitute, as you called her, out of the way. I guess I'm not entirely shocked that the people that were funding them are like, Daenerys haters from the past. Just seems very appropriate because, she's kind of made some enemies along the way, and I'm sure they want to see her fall and fail, and they don't know that she's not even there. She's dealing with a whole other issue at this point, which makes you kind of feel bad for Varys and all them trying to hold down the fort and Tyrion and all them. But yeah, I mean, if we're gonna sit down and throw down, they got dragons, like I was saying. If they want to do some violence, they got 2 dragons down there. But I don't know. Say Daenerys needs to come back. Things are getting too hot and heavy over there without her.
And it does kind of showcase, as much as people think that she's, just iron fisted her way through a lot of these situations, she's been quite merciful. She's let all these people live. She's tried to like help them and have them set up their own little cities again, and with new people, not just the same old. And then that all got overthrown, and the people who were in power before just retook the power as soon as she wasn't around. So
right.
And now they're trying to kill her.
She tried, yeah.
All right, then we get to King's Landing, and we see Cersei and Qyburn, Jaime in the mountain, out here terrifying these little children, the little birds that Varys used to work with.
These poor kids.
We learn that Cersei's plan is to do a trial by combat when it comes to her trial with the Sparrows, and Sir Gregor is going to be her champion. So
I don't know if that's really fair. Like, he's literally like an undead zombie.
Meanwhile, they bust on in. We see that Kevin Lannister is out here running shit right now. He's sitting at the head of the table. And Cersei's like, sir, please. But he's over here talking with Pycelle and Mace Tyrell and Olenna when Jaime, Cersei, and the Mountain bust on in there. I mean, they bring up some valid points. Look, the Sand Snakes and Ilaria Sand just overthrew the Dornish government and took over, and they killed Marcella, your niece, sir. Plus, the queen is still in chains, which Cersei don't really care about, but Olenna made sure to check her ass real quick to be like, no, girl, we don't care what happened to you. Hilarious. But basically, they don't want to hear it, so they're like, okay, you can stay in this room. We're gonna go somewhere else. Bye. Like, they run up on out of the room.
A mess.
Meanwhile, Tommen came in hot. He came with the guard. Was talking that talk with the High Sparrow.
He got talked down like immediately.
Yeah, the High Sparrow was taken back a little bit, but then he started getting that web ready quickly. He sent them guards away, and you knew it was a wrap. I was like, okay, Tommen's in this room by himself. The manipulation is sealed, and sure enough, there he went. Again.
Yeah, he got outwitted pretty easily there once everything got situated. Once he went and sat down, it was over.
How'd you feel about all of those scenarios playing out in King's Landing right now?
I mean, it was really interesting to see all that play out. I mean, I liked most of it. I mean, I still don't think that's very fair to have the Mountain be your competitor. We already saw what happened last time, and somehow he lived. Now he's this undead zombie in full armor, and he just goes around murdering people, and nobody seems to care, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, Cersei's plan, I mean, it made sense. She wants revenge on like everyone, but it seems a bit drastic because, like you said in the reaction, like the entire like town was out there making fun of her, so she's got to get revenge on the entire, King's Landing. It's interesting to bring up Dorne because we haven't seen them in a bit. That whole stuff with Ilaria taking over with the Sand Snakes. Yeah, I don't know. It makes sense for them to be very angry at them. I just don't know how long it's going to be till that plays out, if it ever plays out. Because they didn't really execute a lot of the Dorne stuff very well. So I guess maybe that's part of my hesitancy to return with more Dorne stuff, which I hope we do, because I hope that I like the stuff with Dorne to an extent. Just I didn't think it was executed as well as it could have been. Yeah, Olena's always great. I'm always going to love Olenna, even if she only has a couple good one-liners in an episode. She's always going to be fantastic. She made some good points. But the stuff with Tommen, like we said, like Tommen, came in assertive. It was actually quite refreshing to see him finally take some sort of initiative and somewhat showcased his power, because he is supposed to be the king. And then immediately he got talked down, talked off the ledge, just got put in his place, because, the High Sparrow is just that dude. He's very, very smart, very, very, very easily, he's very good at manipulating people. We've seen that already. He's a very powerful figure. Yeah, I don't know. Tommen tried. He did his best. I would say there's no other way to really put it. He tried his best to be this strong, assertive king, demanding things, and then Jonathan Pryce just whipped him around and gave him this whole speech and kind of calmed him down and made him think. It made him question himself, I guess.
Yeah. Well, then we see Arya still training blind with the waif. The waif is out here still whooping her ass, just beating her up. They're playing this little game, talking about who's on your list. She admits that she took the Hound off her list, and she did, but didn't want him dead. She left him for dead.
I don't want him dead. I still hope he's alive.
Well, then the waif hints that maybe I don't know if she thinks she's on Arya's list, or maybe that's part of her goal to get onto Arya's list. But she's like, I think you got another person on your list, Arya.
She should be at this point.
But thankfully, we see, all this training is starting to pay off, and Arya is going into Daredevil mode. She starts blocking and starts being able to fight back without eyes.
We love to see it.
And Jaqen brings her on over, and her eyesight is restored as she admits to being no one again. So, how did you feel about Arya's stuff?
Well, it was great to see her finally, regain her vision, and now she's on the quote unquote right path again to becoming no one. It was a bit depressing to see her be like this blind person being beaten up by the waif every week. So it's great that we're going to move forward, get to see her learn about all of this stuff, taking faces and all that, because that was kind of a roadblock. Because I was very intrigued by it. I thought it was really awesome when we were seeing that progress, and then it just got taken away, and then it was just kind of depressing to see her just get beaten up all the time by the waif. I'm excited to see what comes next, because I don't really know necessarily where we'll go. I imagine she'll probably continue to try and get people off that list while learning these new skills. That's what I'm hoping for, at least.
All right. Then we see Ramsay still trying to garner folks in the North. And he's approached with a proposal. Man refuses to kneel or really do anything to show his loyalty. But
he's very real for that.
Potentially very valuable hostages for Ramsay. And for the first time since season 3, Osha and Rickon Stark are revealed. And as proof that it's Rickon, we see Shaggy Dog's head put on a platter. So Shaggy Dog, R.I.P. But Rickon is like twice as big as the last time we saw him, much older.
It's been a couple years.
Sucks that they are now captors of Ramsay. But yeah, how'd you feel about getting Rickon and Osha back in this way?
Well, I've been wondering where the hell they were. Like, we saw them so many seasons ago go off on their mission, alone, and then we just never saw them again. So I was hoping eventually they would come back. I just didn't think it would take, like you said, 3 seasons. Well, I wish it was under better circumstances that they'd return. I don't like that they came back as hostages. bargaining chips, especially because they killed the dog. I forgot the name of the dog until you brought it up. Like I said, because it's been so long and we barely ever saw Shaggy Dog to begin with.
Yeah,
it's always sad to see those dire wolves die. So like we're running low on them. But that makes me nervous for Osha and Rickon because now anybody that hangs around Ramsey.
Then up in the north, we start the episode and end the episode up at the Castle Black, and we see folks just looking astonished as Jon Snow rises from the dead. Obviously, Jon is also a little like shook and confused.
I'd be surprised too.
He's like, what the hell? I got stabbed. Last thing I remembered, straight through the heart. What the hell am I doing here? Melisandre walked back in and is also shook. She's like, what the hell? Okay. I guess maybe you're the prince that was promised, not Stannis, because the Lord of the Light brought you back for a reason. So her faith is restored, it seems.
Something's restored. I don't know if it's her faith or what.
But the wildlings think he's some kind of god. They are all shook and like, what the hell? Little Tormund got his bromance back on with Jon immediately. Ed very happy as well. Then we get to the end of the episode. We see Jon taking out his final order, as we will learn, as Lord Commander, and he brings up the mutineers that stabbed him, including Sir Alistair and Ollie, and executes them. And after he does so, he hands his coat off to Ed and is like, nah, I don't care what the hell you do. Look, you can burn the bodies, you can do whatever the hell you want. I'm out. Bye. So we end the episode with Jon leaving the Night's Watch.
Peacing out. Yeah.
So
his watch has ended.
How did you feel about the stuff up at Castle Black?
I mean, it was always pretty good. I liked all that stuff this episode. Jon's back. I mean, it was interesting also to get his perspective on, dying and then coming back and feeling like he failed. Even it wasn't really his fault that his crew betrayed him and murdered him. Yeah, I mean, it was a good episode for Jon, that, and also getting revenge on the people who betrayed him. It was very satisfying, especially because, the main two we don't really like anyway, like Ollie and Sir Alistair. It was good to see them get their comeuppance. I guess it would have been even better if maybe Ollie had said something at least beforehand, like everybody else, had their last words beforehand. He's been such a pain. Like, I still understand to a point why he hated Jon, between everything that happened with the wildlings. But, he also killed Ygritte and then Jon. So it's a bit awkward situation for all of them. I guess it was kind of amusing that Jon had to make sure he killed them all, and then he quit. He's like, I'm gonna make sure I get my revenge, and then I'm peacing out. Basically,
he made sure to do that before he sent in his resignation.
I gotta make sure I do this first before I leave.
Damn, Jon, that's cold. But that leads us into predictions. So the final moment we have in the 5th book that's been released is Jon Snow being murdered. And that's
not even resurrected, just murdered.
That's another reason people are so upset that George R.R. Martin left over a decade after that. He just killed off one of the most beloved characters and ended it and didn't come back. And then he's released a few like preview chapters so far from this book now that's supposedly coming up, but none of them.
He's had 10 years, so I figured he'd have some preview chapters ready.
What I will say as we move into predictions, the predictions are that Jon will be resurrected in the books as well, but it's much more open to interpretation on, will it be like a Catelyn Stark resurrection where she's not really Catelyn Stark anymore, Lady Stoneheart. Beric Dondarrion says he loses a piece of himself, a piece of being human every time he dies. So they're wondering how Jon will be when he returns. So that's one of my questions for you to start off the predictions. How do you feel Jon is going to be as this, I'm for all intents and purposes, zombie, resurrected human being?
I don't know. I mean, like, he came back from the dead and like immediately chose violence. So, he was like, he was kind of hesitant before, to use violence in some situations, and now he's back. He's like, I'm gonna make sure I kill everybody that betrayed me, and then I'm gonna peace out because my watch ended.
And fuck y'all. Fuck this. I'm out. Forget about the Night's Watch and honor and all that bullshit I used to care about. I'm gone.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see some sort of character shift for him after this, because I mean, where do we go now? You know, it's so open for him now because he could go in 100 different directions. Because you know, he was so solely focused on the war. You know, the Walkers coming and aligning the Wildlings and the Night's Watch in case they all get murdered. And I guess if he just pieces out, you know, he doesn't care, I guess, anymore. So he can go live his life now that his watch has ended. So, but I wonder where that's going to lead, though. Like, is he going to go, like, you know, find Sansa? Is he going to go, you know, fight Ramsay? Or is that, I'm trying to think where he could go at this point. Like, I mean, I don't think he's going to go off with Tyrion and all them and help them out in their debacle. Or, I mean, he could go to King's Landing. It's like, because he's not really interacted with most of the people in the show since like the very beginning of the series. So it'll be interesting if he does interact with other stars of the show outside of the Night's Watch, because it's been so long. I would love to see it. Kind of like how we haven't seen Daenerys hang out with like anybody except Tyrion
until Tyrion showed up. Yeah.
Yeah, because I would like to see some of these characters like that actually interact for once. It'd be kind of cool.
Well, speaking of, we do know Sansa, Brienne, and Podrick are headed to Castle Black to meet up with Jon Snow.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
He's piecing out of there.
It's one of those things, like they're always going somewhere, and they're always like 5 steps behind.
It feels like Brienne. Like, maybe it's because Brienne is always like searching for people. It seems like she always like just misses everyone.
That's what I mean. Like, she's always like 5 steps behind. Like, we saw it with, like, you know, so many times already in the past.
I know. Well, so we have that. Daenerys is about to stand trial on whether they allow her to stay.
Whatever that means.
We have Tyrion trying to get political with these masters of Yunkai and Astapor and hopefully find peace in Meereen. Melisandre and Davos are still in Castle Black as well. I'm not really sure what they're going to think or do now that Jon has just pieced out. He's kind of like their new leader. So we'll see.
Well, Melisandre was like all about him and hit the prophecies and stuff, and he just leaves.
Then we have Jaime and Cersei trying to, you know, get schemes going in King's Landing. She's prepping for this new trial she has to go on with the Sparrows.
So ridiculous.
The High Sparrow trying to get Tommen back on his side, wheeling and dealing, while Marjorie is still sitting in a prison cell. But it seems like, you know, Olenna at least is in the city working with Kevin, trying to figure out how to get Marjorie out of there.
I still just think it's funny his name's Kevin. I'm sorry.
Kevin Lannister.
Kevin.
Well, then we see now Ramsay has Osha and Rickon. Obviously, you know, the people who are loyal to the Starks. What might he try to do with Rickon? And yeah, the Night's Watch is just chilling. So what are your predictions moving forward?
Well, I'm nervous for the Night's Watch and the Wildlings if Jon Snow's not there, because that was like their whole point to bringing him back, and he just was like, "All right, well, thanks for bringing me back. I'm leaving now." Kind of mean. It's like, thanks for bringing me back from the dead. I'll see you later. Screw y'all. Y'all have fun.
Good luck. Bye.
It's kind of funny when you think of it in that sense. Like, you brought me back, and I just leave. I killed the people that betrayed me. Y'all have fun.
I get my revenge. I don't care about whatever plans y'all had. I'm out.
Hope y'all live when the Walkers come. Imagine that Brienne and them are gonna probably get up there and be pissed because he's not there. Maybe they'll cross each other's paths if they're, you know, going on the same road. I imagine at least one of the two, Osha or Rickon, are gonna probably end up dying because Ramsay is involved. So I imagine one of them is probably gonna die. I figure probably gonna be the Stark kid. Like, sorry if there's any Rickon fans out there. Like, I don't really think he's contributed much to the show in any shape or form. I think it's kind of whack that Daenerys has to go on a trial for this. She didn't even want to be there anyway. And, like, I can't imagine a trial with these folks is fair. we've seen in the past, their laws are not exactly fair.
And their laws also obviously don't respect women at all in the slightest.
Well, that's what I mean. They're not exactly fair laws, so that should be fun.
And we already heard the way they talked to her when they first met her, so we could see.
If they have Cersei go on trial and they have the Mountain fight somebody, like, good luck to whoever fights
Cersei's
the Mountain.
free.
As I mean, like, good luck to whoever they can dig up to fight the Mountain. Like, I mean, the only way they get the High Sparrow out there is like, who is going to fight the Mountain? Like, who?
It'll be Lance.
Well, I'm thinking, who would in their right mind would fight that man, or whatever he is now?
We gotta get Sir Arthur Dayne back from the dead.
He's the only one. Like, I thought of it.
Hope.
He's the only one I could think of that could probably win.
Are we going by horror rules? We have to just lob the Mountain's head off now is the only way he'll die. Have to take the head from the body.
I hope that's how you kill him. Let's say, I don't know. Like
his body still keeps going even without it.
I say, I don't know what the rules are. Like, I saw some crazy stuff with those walkers. So, like, anything's possible.
I mean, I don't know what kind of enchantment Qyburn put on him, because he said he won't stop until all of his Grace's enemies are dead. So maybe some weird enchantment Qyburn did.
Yeah, whatever that means. Like, I mean, I don't know. If it'd be one thing if that enchantment was for someone that wasn't Cersei Lannister. Like, Cersei Lannister has a lot of enemies.
So many.
I mean, I'm excited if there is going to be a trial by combat and we get to see like zombie Mountain fight somebody. Finally, getting more developments with Tyrion and all that conflict. They may have to choose violence, but I figure if we're gonna get some dragon action, if we're gonna use violence, I just want to see some more dragons. Frankly. After that House of the Dragon trailer and all that, like, I'm ready for more dragons. So,
well, then, who were your faves and least faves of this episode?
I think my fave has to be what's his face, Sir Arthur Dayne.
Yes.
Like that was badass. I mean, it just sucks that he got killed in that stupid way.
That's what I'm saying. Out of all these prequels they were announcing at Game of Thrones, we couldn't get an Arthur Dayne prequel on the board. Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, you could very easily recast that character with like a known actor, and it would be probably pretty awesome. Tyrion was also great, even though he didn't really have too much to work with here. He tried his best, I guess. As far as people I liked, well, Arya was pretty good. I'm glad that she's finally like back in the land of seeing. She can see again. I'm trying to think. Anyone like else I liked? I liked Tommen up until he got like talked off the ledge by the High Sparrow, because he finally
had his best moment. Damn it, he finally had a good one, and then no.
Olenna was great with her couple lines of dialogue, throwing shade, as she does perfectly. Well, Jon was great too. I almost forgot Jon because he, it was like tail end of the episode and beginning and end. It's like, I mean, Ramsay just in general is usually got to be as long as he appears in the episode, he's got to be in the dislike category. I don't like the High Sparrow, but like I wouldn't put him in the bad category because like he does such a good job being this foe, if you will.
Yeah.
He's too cunning. He's too cunning for his own good, and it bothers me. I'll put the waif in the negative, though. I don't like the waif. I've never liked the waif, though, to be fair. If you've seen our rankings in the past, I have the waif pretty low generally. I just don't like that character.
She's gotten even worse in this season. So
yeah, she's probably gonna be even lower in season 6. I mean, unless something else changes in the next couple episodes.
A final shout out to Ollie and Sir Alistair.
Well, yeah, I just all 4 of them, all 4 of them. The other 2, I don't even know if they have names, but them too, because they betrayed Jon Snow.
The last time I can shade you and put you on the worst list, so you're going on.
Yeah, I mean, not RIP really for them, but like, peace out.
So far, we've gotten a lot of either people we don't like or a lot of people we don't really like dying so far this season. Ollie, Sir Alistair. Last episode, we had Balon Greyjoy go down. We had Roose Bolton go down.
Yeah, it's been a good season.
It's gotten a lot of the like, not the main people like Ramsay, not those horrible people that we hate, but a lot of the little outside people we don't care for too much going down. So
yeah, I mean, I'm waiting for like the other fringe characters to die, like Qyburn or that guy's so weird. Like he just gives off weird vibes. Like, I guess that's intentional.
The children with these little candied plums or whatever from Dorne.
I think they were plums. Yeah.
Don't take that candy, kid. Run.
I thought because he does, he does some weird ass shit in that basement. I figured it was gonna be some weird candy that did like crazy stuff.
Next episode, we're gonna see these little like deformed monster children.
Well, that's what I mean. Like we just watched him resurrect the mountain for a whole season basically, and we saw that's he gave Jamie his hand back, right? I mean, he fixed his hand.
Yeah, he fixed
his hand. So I mean, like we've seen him do some crazy stuff he shouldn't been able to do. I just figured that candy was kind of the next step. He was testing out something with those plums. I mean, maybe they are. I don't know. I wouldn't take candy. I wouldn't take anything from that man.
No.
He's weird.
Well, that was our reaction and discussion for season 6, episode 3, Oathbreaker. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click that like button down below and subscribe to the channel so that you are always up to date on all of my latest videos, including each and every one of our Game of Thrones reaction videos. Also, make sure that you are following Tyler. Tyler, you want to let them know where to find you?
Yeah, sure. If you search up my name on here, Tyler Calvert, you'll find my channel for reviews, reactions, rankings, a bunch of other stuff. I'll probably be on the channel for other things along the way as well here, whether it be like other reactions, series along the way. We'll see. Some of them are hopefully returning. Some of them, maybe some new stuff along the way. We'll see how that goes. Because there's a lot of content right now in general. So it's pretty stressful. But you can also find me on Twitter and Instagram at Tyler Calvert.
Perfect. All right, and let us know, what did you think of season 6, episode 3? Leave your thoughts either in the comment section down below, or you can hit both of us up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your continued support. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.